welcome to Cannon Crew, a weekly podcast discussing the Charleston Battery. Your host Granite will be joined by other defenders of the fleet from the black and yellow supporters section, and together they will help fortify and conquer. They are the Cannon Crew.
Welcome to the Cannon Crew podcast. I am Granite. I'm joined by the ever-loving Patrick.
What's going on?
Man, I am loving the hat that is on your head, my friend.
Been on all week. Finally, a real team is going to be playing some sports.
Ryan, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing good, Grant. Thank you.
Good. You still thinking about Patrick's comment?
Yeah. Okay. My team won't do any better tomorrow anyways.
You mean the Battery? Battery's going to do fantastic against...
I was talking about Wolves, but
Oh.
it's on my EPL stuff, but yeah.
You don't know.
And a Battery smash it. That's why I was a little upset by Pat's comment.
He's got a cannon on his head. Well, anyways, so let's...
All the Battery gear got taken down after that embarrassment. So...
I really was not looking forward to doing this. That's the reason why I think I just kept saying, let's kick it down the road. Except you never want to, it was not a fun match to watch.
No.
But I think it's after I thought about it, I was like, this is very instructive. I think we needed to learn from this. This was not a failure on the players' parts. I think it was a failure on the coaching part. We should have had a plan to deal with how we were kind of manhandled. No, we didn't.
I think it was a failure on everyone's part, to be honest. Now, if you were a lucky person and your power went out after 10 minutes, you would have thought we looked great. Only down a goal, but we're getting chances. We probably would have won that game, right?
All the stats were in our favor, except for one.
I mean, when you're 4-0 down, I don't think the other team gives a shit if you have the ball the whole time and just pass it around.
Oh, I think they did. I think they enjoyed taking it away from us and darting towards our goal. So I think they were. I've never seen Aaron get in the referee's face and talk with gusto like he did with that referee. And so it tells me, because usually he's nice, cool, calm, collected from the outside. That tells me that there was a battle going on there. I think we got out. We got out coached again. We know how they're going to attack us. We know how they're going to defend, and we had no answer to it. We just thought our game would be stronger and could outdo their wide attack, and but it just couldn't handle it.
I think for me, the issue from the get-go was Louisville hasn't played differently. They come out, and from the very moment the whistle blew, they sprint at you, sprint at your defense, sprint at the ball, and they keep that up for a bit. And I don't know if it's Pierman thinking, hey, I got it figured out. We pass the ball around, we'll beat them. I mean, that essentially should do it, but not more than 2 touches per player. That also requires your players to move laterally as well as horizontally, which we did not. I mean, you could watch any goal that they scored. Our entire midfield finally decided to step up, and it was too late, and they just played the ball behind them. So now you have like a 30-yard gap where you have 6 guys jogging back. I mean, the defense, yeah, that's another story, but you're kind of counting on your midfield to be there to help you out. So
Yeah.
I don't 100% blame it on defense, but MD Myers, I mean, 30 seconds in, Cal Jennings is a shot on goal. There isn't a player within 45 yards of him shooting, not going for a deflection, not going for there's a save and let's go challenge if the ball goes to the corner. Nobody. So they played that way the entire game from start to finish, of way too much space, way too much laziness, and way too much, we'll eventually pass it around them and control this game. That's not how Louisville plays. And I think you nailed it with Pierman. Total lack of concept of that. The players, total lack of hustle. And just from top to bottom, it looked like a team, I think in a nice way to play it, of like an Arsenal playing the Battery, because it was just miles of a difference. There was no comparison. We didn't deserve to even get a goal in that game.
Well, Louisville's not as good as the Arsenal, but anyways, I hear you, and I can kind of understand where you're coming from with that. I just think that we got rocked back in our heels and just couldn't recover.
I mean, 3 goals in 30 minutes.
Yeah, and we're not putting goals in the back of the net, so we're not scoring. Even though we'd scoring, averaging 2+ goals a game and everything else, it's just, I don't want to say it wasn't our night, because we've got to beat Louisville. We haven't beat them in a long time, and so if we can't beat them now, it's going to be a little tougher. The person that was drinking beer next to me as we sit there crying in our beers was mentioning, like, hey, we end up in playoffs. We're going to have to go back to Lynn Stadium or Lim Family Stadium, which is a nice stadium, by the way, it looks like, but they have to go back there. And that is our, that's where we go to die sometimes.
I mean, we lucked out last year that Rhode Island somehow took it to them and we didn't have to cross that bridge, but there's no way we can play in that stadium and come out even to penalties or extra time. Like, I don't know, unless you get a whole new perspective and players that can run an up tempo. Like, it's one thing to run your own up tempo. It's another to play against a team that does that. And the effort was gone at 10 minutes. How do you even
You're
say
obviously
we
gonna
put
have
in
to
effort
change-
on this?
You're obviously going to have to change the whole game plan, because you've never seen the light of day at that stadium, right? I feel like that's one of the only stadiums the Battery has not won in yet. Other than, Detroit getting a new stadium and then these few new teams coming in next season. Besides those, you can't buy a win there. This is everything that we have tried in the past. You got to throw it out the book. You got to throw it right out the door, and you got to just start from scratch. And you have 11 games right now to build to get to that moment. You can still hold on to second, as we're 3 games ahead of Loudon, I believe it is right now. Don't have it in front of me right now. If you guys want to correct me, but this is where we can totally change and be ready for Louisville the second time, the real time, the one that counts. Because how much sweeter would it be beating them in the Eastern Final at Lynn Stadium? Not winning this past weekend, right? Taking this L, but then returning the favor for that trophy. I'm bought in.
So what do we learn from this? Because Ryan's being quiet because they play a 3-back system. It kind of goes to that 3-back and 2 wingers or 2 wing backs, right? But what do we learn from it?
What I learned is that there's a lot of ground to make up between what I thought was the top 2 teams in the league to the rest of the Eastern Conference. Well, now we've fallen down. There's a big gap from first to second, as well as from second to third.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we stand alone as the second best, but there's a huge gap to make up. This isn't a one time, like you said, Ryan, we get knocked down and we could chalk it up as one random game. Well, we can't beat them. And I don't see how we haven't learned a different lesson or a different tactic to try and play or set up, or maybe put a defensive mid just sitting in front of the line, because they make those crossing runs at the top of the box. They get them. You have guys like Drac who look completely lost out there. There's 50-50 balls and we have defenders flat-footed on the ground.
Yeah, but if you look at Louisville and you look at how they were structured, right? I kind of look at Louisville, if you want to look, for Charleston locals, you look at Louisville, I look at Wando High School in a sense of playing that 3-back, that 4-back that goes into a 2-back system at times. And they would play higher up the pitch. To go after those types of teams, you have to be able to flip the script and attack more on your end rather than sitting in and worrying about and inviting the pressure in. Because if you flip the script on them and over pressure them on their half, they're going to have to drop in. and not being able to play in a 2 to 3 back system their entire game their way, they're going to get frustrated, and that's how they're going to bite the dust for those games. You may not win those games, you may get a tie and stuff like that, but you're going to have frustrating them is the way to do it. You're making them overthink their game. And that's the way to beat them, is to make them overthink and make them overcomplicate their own game.
I was going to say, do you think the way to beat a team like this who's playing 3 backs, because they're essentially 3 center backs, is to have your wingers play higher, and the battery, for the life of them, kept trying to pass these slow hospital balls to the middle of the field.
Did they warm up with long passes before the game? It's like felt like we didn't have the field dialed in or something with those.
It's the weight on the passes. They've got to pass the ball with some weight behind it. It was slow transitions for us. We were trying to be methodical. It almost seems like, and going down the middle, but we were not being successful, and we can't seem to change from that. When we go, okay, let's try something different, and we don't. I think we got the skill set out there to do it. We just can't do it.
You have guys that can do it, right? Like, you go into that game and you say, Rodriguez, Torres, I need you to just sprint and pressure. You guys, this is your culture. This is the way you play. You high press, you go, you run yourself into the ground. I will get you off this field when you have given everything. So don't worry about that. I'm not going to overextend you and get you hurt, but I need you to go after them. I need you to attack. There's you see our forward and then a 15-yard gap behind them that's slowly jogging up. That doesn't help kind of what you were saying, Ryan, as attack and pressure their defense to cause them to play different. If they're just lackadaisically getting up to be the first defense, who's going to be threatened by that? You can easily just kind of play the ball out, or in their case, play a long ball. Maybe a handful of times I saw guys challenge for a 50-50 ball in the air. I mean,
I hate to call it long ball. It wasn't just a long ball. I mean, it wasn't just like kick it down and hopefully run underneath it. It was well placed and played. Everything they did had a purpose behind it. So it was a long ball, but it was trying to be on target with that, and they were producing from it. And I think we got. I'll say, if you look at stats, we didn't get outplayed. If you look at stats, but we just got out-momented. In the big moments, we just collapsed. And there's one person in particular that we'll talk about here in a minute that I think added, besides the coaching that might have, we didn't adjust well. But there's one person I think really didn't help out the situation as much as we would like for that person to do.
Do y'all think Robbie should have just laced up and have just subbed in himself?
Robbie, yes.
Honestly.
You gotta try something. I mean,
I think Traveling Ballboy could have got some minutes in this one. I mean, they have a lot of options. I'll put it this way. I didn't see a position on that field that you would sub a guy off and be like, why are you subbing him off?
Mm-hmm.
I think you can make an argument that everyone was flat. Everyone and I assume this is just coming from coach down. Like, this is how we're going to beat them. Stick to the plan. By halftime, that plan's out the door. Things obviously switched a little bit, but it's too late. You're 4-0 down at that point.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about they had 5 shots on target.
I had one really good shot. I'll say that.
They had one really good shot, so that left 3 other. Well, that maybe should have been stopped. I don't know. Here I go, Ryan. Our keeper let us down. I think that was the biggest failure in keeping. It was. I
wonder what that keeper's meeting was like on Monday, because I immediately texted in the chat before that second goal went in, and I was like, I think there's going to be a keeper's meeting on Monday. Did we even talk about the second goal? I mean, I think we just glared right over that. I mean,
so let's talk about the second goal.
As a defender, Pat, right? You're doing your due diligence for the keeper, stepping in front of the ball, putting your body on the line, right? Ball comes through, keeper's in position, holds like this, and it goes off of his hands and in the goal. Maurice Karius, 2020 Champions League against Real Madrid. Like,
He had it. He had it in his hands.
he did. And it went spin right off of his hands because I don't know. Because granted, I immediately called it as soon as it happened. I was like, that went off his hands. You're like, what? We watched the replay. It's like,
I feel like there's no way it went off his hands. There's no way a keeper would let that go off his hands and go in the side net. Like, I was like, what happened? It wasn't like a hard shot. It wasn't like a rocket. It wasn't like he was outstretched. And we've seen him do that before in a couple other matches. Is it time for a keeper change? I don't know.
As the defender, you go and you pick him up. Leland should have been the first guy. Been like, it's fine. Regroup. We got this. No one in their right mind took ownership of anything.
Yeah.
They're all looking around like,
yes.
how's everyone open? And it's like,
Michelle
just
shot.
say even like Malloy, just hand up, go in, say, that's my bad. That was my guy. Let's go get one back. And we're right back in it. Instead, it was like, hey, you tell it to kids all the time. Like, don't hang your head low because then you're just going to play worse. And it looked like we had 11 guys just hang their heads.
This is where the urgency comes from, the intensity. Yeah. You have to raise it. In not doing so, you have already thrown in the towel. And just by them being shell-shocked and not wanting to hold anybody to a standard or accountability, allowed them to fall through. You know? You got to buy into each other.
Luis had one save on the night. On the other end, Loss was killing it. Where them at last, he was just all over the place. A double save that was phenomenal. It was just amazing that what he was doing at the other end.
Look good. We get big performances against us in big games, and I think this is what we expect our players to do: is step up in these huge games.
Yeah,
you know, live up to the moment. This isn't the mindset of like playoffs aren't going to be forever. We're getting away from that. So these games count. These games matter. And this is the difference between a championship and just not winning. Finishing, who cares, because you didn't win.
I think what I feel like happened is when went down there and we missed the first shot on goal. And we shouldn't have missed that. We can't miss that. That's leaving goals on the pitch that we have to get. We can't mess around, especially with a team like Louisville. So we missed that. Then a couple minutes later, we get scored on. And almost an identical kind of play, wasn't it? And just couldn't stop it. I think that's where the swing started happening. About 10, 11 minutes, it was just, that was when the onslaught coming. We just didn't have an answer. Couldn't keep the ball out of net. We couldn't do anything. We could pass a lot.
Lack of confidence, being able to play out of the back, urgency on the ball, lack of confidence from the keeper himself. You had a mixture of a lot of things, and it just was not meant to be a good night for the Battery.
The only thing I would take as a coach from this is look at those first 10 minutes, 30 seconds in, you beat the high press and got the ball up to a forward who made a move to goal and had a shot. That's exactly how he should have played that. Rotate that ball left to right very quickly. And what I don't understand why they didn't just rotate it right back right to left. Like,
and quickly.
It's a good way to get a guy to stop sprinting at you if he's just going to have to keep sprinting and turn around and sprint and turn around and sprint. They may lay off for like a 2-minute period. That creates your moment to see these gaps, make your player movements. We're better. We also let's not forget they had 2 or 3 hit the post.
Yeah.
So this could have been a lot worse of a game.
I think it was 3. It could have been 7-0. They were very disciplined. And Ryan and I were talking about watching the match. It was like they had trigger points when they were pressing, and so Joey seemed to get a lot of the press. Guy would be, Louisville guy would just kind of like stand there, and all of a sudden the ball would come Joey, and that he would take off, sprint right at Joey. And it wasn't like he was panicking, but it wasn't like anybody was trying to help him out either. So he'd have to pass, kind of awkward pass, and it was coming off keeper kind of awkward. And like you said, it wasn't moving quickly. But they were very disciplined in their press on us, and we've got if we want to be top dog, we got to deal with that.
But it was the want there, the intensity, the drive. They did not let up the entire first half. I mean, they went out and got themselves a pin when they were up 3-0.
So, Ryan, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did any of us expect Louisville not to play this way?
No.
No, this is
So,
their
I mean,
way.
it's very clearly written that this is what's going to happen.
I thought we did a
And-
great job, though, exploiting them week 1 this season and not allowing them to press us as much because we pressed them so hard. Yes, we lost 2-1.
But
I
it's a
just
close
didn't
game.
know what this one was.
I'm curious with a team like this, does it make more sense just to have a higher line? Because clearly there was big gaps between lines on our team. I know they are a threat, and they love to run at people and just take a ball and head down, run at a defender with the ball. I'm curious if you couldn't get a couple offsides to maybe get that breather or a little break in the first half to like kind of counteract their attack almost. It's
Yeah.
almost like we were just backpedaling and praying.
And they were playing so wide that we just couldn't handle it. It was like we weren't prepared for their press, weren't prepared for them playing this wide, and that's their game. And I don't know.
What do
So
you
it's
think
like-
of the fourth goal? So that was probably the only controversy, I'd think, of the first half is what, 5, 6, 7, 12, 20, 30 corner kicks in a row of just shoving guys around and then finally just saying, you know what? Yeah, penalty.
Yeah, it was.
I don't want to make it sound like it whined about another bad call because it made no difference in our game.
But
But I mean, if you call one that you called like 2 or 3 before for the attacking team to stop,
Yeah,
then that should just be an automatic, hey, we're going the opposite way.
yeah. The guy had nowhere to play. Laundry's got to be smarter. I'm losing my joy over Laundry. He's got to be smarter.
Yeah.
Because you don't wrestle people down in the box like he did. Even though it seemed really awkward because he kept blowing the whistle, it wasn't letting them take the kick until everything was perfect. And I guess they weren't fouling us. And then as soon as it blows the whistle, then it's fouling us and he does a PK. But Laundry's it's got to be smarter because it just doesn't help out the team at all.
What do you guys do after a loss like this?
We go kick the shit out of Pittsburgh.
Advice?
We go kick the shit out of Pittsburgh. We take this hate and this self-loathing and go up to Pittsburgh and put on a hell of a game.
So we're at Pittsburgh tomorrow. 7 p.m. kickoff?
Something like that. They better be out in the pitch at 4 o'clock in the afternoon getting ready. Doing some yoga, getting their mind into it, something.
I was thinking more of the wind sprints. Maybe get a little cool down from having to do wind sprints for the past 72 hours.
Okay, we're gonna do ladders. Go. I would expect out of the coaching level of Ben is that this is just an aberration. We'll get over this. Let's focus on the last 11 games. Let's go up there and do what we normally do. And that's back to playing some good possession ball and trying to put it in the back of the net. I don't think we'll get into anything different. I don't think we need to.
Do you see us being able to touch the number 1 seed anymore this season? Or do you think that's gone now?
I think it's gone.
I think we don't focus on it, and if it happens, it happens. Fantastic, but don't worry about it. That's not ours to worry about. Ours to worry about is looking forward to Louisville in the Eastern Final.
Yeah, I hate to say that. I mean, it's out of our control, right?
Yeah,
we can only control what we control. Louisville's going to control what they can. But it also sets it up for fantastic. If we end up going to Louisville and playing them up there, and when we end up winning, it's going to make it that much sweeter. Now let's talk about their stadium quickly because I think that's a pretty cool stadium looking. I was like, they got beer tables lining up right behind, the lower tier. There's an upper tier. Got standing all across both sections. It looked like a really, really cool place to watch a soccer match. What, 13,000 people watching?
About 30, yeah.
Yeah.
Impressive for a USL game where it's not just people in the stadium, but they are focused. They are cheering, groaning at the right moments, doing all the real fanisms, keeping up with the game in real time. So it's impressive to see. I hope we get there one day of being able to pack a stadium of that size.
And the passion part is pretty cool. I mean, so looking at that from USL, they're packing 13,000 people in there, and they were very passionate. And if we get every stadium like that, we're going to be eclipsing what the MLS is. They only got so many teams. We could build a tiered system, and if they're packing 5, 6, 10,000 every match, then the numbers are going to be.
With promotion relegation coming in 2 years?
Say again?
With promotion relegation coming up too.
Yeah. Oh, let's add that mystery to it. But anyway, so it wasn't the best results. Hopefully we learned from it. I expect we will. We've got to play Louisville different than we play any other team. So what do we do with Pittsburgh?
I think Pittsburgh's a team we can play our game style and kind of wear a team down, passing it around and controlling the tempo. I think Louisville's a one-off team, but they're very good at what they do for a reason, and there's a reason they're consistently in that number one spot. And it's not from retaining the same players year to year, because they rotate a lot of that starting lineup every year. But I think we're the best team that plays a tempo-based control, and I think we're going to do it against Pittsburgh. We'll do it against Loudoun, which is the game after, so 2 top 5 teams back to back. And I hope we get goals out of it, but I'm okay if we get out of there with 1-0, 1-0. I mean, an away game in Pittsburgh's, it was tough last year for us. So I'd say this year it'd be nice just to get a 1-0 and get out of there. Brad once again has muted
Yes,
himself.
once again, I've muted myself because what I was saying was ridiculous. I was saying we're going to win the Premier League this year. No, what I was saying is I'll take 3 points. No matter how ugly it is, you got to go away with 3 points. One thing I was also going to mention when I was talking about coaches is that both coaches, like under 40, that's pretty cool. And they're the top of their top. Hopefully they're not the top of their game, but they are definitely at the top of the USL game. Because
both of them with over 100 wins, right?
Yeah. So no matter if we had a bad game, there's 2 fantastic, brilliant coaches out there have a little bit different philosophy on how they approach the game, but I think that's good for the game too. If I was a neutral, it might be a fun game to watch. Watch one team get beat around, using one system versus the other one having a lot of possession. So
I will say we are going from probably my favorite stadium in the USL, just as far as atmosphere, to one of my favorite stadiums as far as scenery. Just on the river, bridges in the background, city in the background. It's beautiful there.
Brian, do you have anything to add to that?
I think this game we'll see an emphasis on set pieces again from us. We'll see a little bit of magic. We'll see a 2-1 win. And Juan David Torres, Magic Man, comes back.
Are we seeing a different keeper, or are we sticking?
In my opinion,
we talked about your opinion that night.
We are switching. I think you give Christian the start against Pittsburgh.
I thought you were saying Leland was going in the net.
No,
I mean,
Robbie. We're gonna put Robbie in there.
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, Liam pretty much already was.
Yeah, I would like to see Christian get out there and get a start.
Yeah.
Because if we're gonna let goals through, right? Might as well get somebody who's a good shot stopper. At least he stops PKs. What else? Anything else, Ryan?
What's your prediction, Granite? Well,
That's it. Who let the dogs out? It's a dog pound. Do they have a dog pound at Pittsburgh? No.
That's Cleveland.
Oh, that's right. They got the pooch.
aren't the
pooch
River
pound.
Hounds out in Pittsburgh?
They are, but they're just a bunch of posers that wish they were Cleveland. So it's okay.
They're like a bunch of Yorkies. My prediction is, I'm going with you here. 3-1.
3-1. Okay. You got anybody scoring?
Yeah.
3 people.
3 people. Well, maybe 2 people. Okay. Of course, Juan Davies going to get a goal in there. And I think Joey's going to come back and redeem himself. And I'm expecting one out of Cal. These two. MD's schooling him right now. MD's like getting these 1 goals on games where we shouldn't be getting a goal. He's finding his way to do it. So Cal owes us one.
Do you feel like he owes you?
Oh, yeah. I feel like he owes us all. Okay, Patrick, what's your prediction? Did you already put out there?
I said
Yeah,
I would be
come on.
happy with the 1-0, but my prediction is 1-1. I don't think we're going to get out of there with 3 points.
Well,
I wouldn't be happy with that, but I wouldn't be disappointed with that either.
I'd be happier than a 1-0 loss. I'll say that.
I
I don't think they're in 1 week they're going to turn everything around from that
Yeah.
ass whooping. But I think they are going to be better. I just don't know if, I mean, at this rate,
Do you think they switch
we can't
keepers?
stop them. Yeah. I don't know. I'd say you put 7 guys on defense at this rate. We need to get a clean sheet at least 1 time this year.
You
We
got a
did.
few.
Yeah, but I think Christian got one of them, right?
It's so long ago.
Like 2.
I don't remember any of them.
Now,
Put 2 keepers on the field. Can we do
now
2
would you
keepers?
switch? Will you
Yeah,
switch
go ahead.
keepers? Point.
Did we go with Christian or we go stick with Luis?
Switch it. Why not?
I think what you say. I think what we're going to see is you're going to see Pierman being the leader and the coach that he is, and he's going to have these guys just saying, "Hey, just calm down. We've got this."
My big switch up for this game will be Akaza starts too. Like, no offense to MD, but I think he can come on and get a goal if we need it, and that would be awesome. But I think Akaza, let's just get that tone set back of how we play and kind of get that extra creative player up front to pass the ball around and do what we want.
The
to
energy, yeah.
I
What
think
about
that's right.
what about
Like-
putting Landry on the bench and putting Allen back in?
Oh, Blackstock.
It's not a dangerous game to do it. I was actually thinking halfway in that Louisville game, I was like, wow, this would be a great game to throw Johnny Klein on if we had him and just have him run around for a little bit.
Yeah.
Take some balls down.
Couldn't have been any worse, right?
Wait, isn't this Blackstock's former team?
Huh.
And Nate and Christian's team? Because I thought Christian and Nate played together at Pittsburgh. 2023. This is a
that's
game. This is a
decades-
like a
that's
reunion
decades
game for a
ago.
lot of them. Yeah, you guys didn't know this stuff.
I'm
That's why
trying.
these boys
I'm
to start.
recalling memory right now. Yes, Langston
We
Black
interviewed him.
played for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. He signed
Nope, 1 year and they went to
contract.
Greenville.
Launched his pro career. Over 2023, 2024, he became a regular figure, appearing in 61 matches. His standout 24 performance, including his ability to create scoring opportunities and contribute defensively, earned him a spot in the USL Championship Team of the Week.
Ryan, do you think Joey is hitting the field in this one, or is he going to have a break?
I would like to see Joey sit. not for lack of performance or any way. I just think he needs a break. I think like he can. I think we can give him a break this game.
I think that's a great thought. We don't want to break his spirit.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Don't break anybody's spirit. Let's break Leland's.
I mean, let's just get guys to cross the ball into Rubio. What are
Yeah.
we doing? Did we not watch his national team highlights from the
No,
past
that's it.
month and a half?
That's it.
Guatemala beat Canada.
Just kick it in the air and he'll go do something. He'll score goals nonstop.
That's our plan, right there. We start out
Foolproof.
horseshoe, and then all of a sudden turn into put it up on Rubio's head. Okay, I think the watch party is at Holy City. Maybe.
Could be.
Ryan said something, but say it again, Ryan. But turn the mute button off.
I said, I believe it is Holy City.
Yes. Okay. And we have no idea what I'm still traumatized by Saturday's match. I've been trying to put my head in the sand. What else? Anything else? Anything fun?
I believe there's only one more watch party after this one.
And when is it? No.
Well,
when?
That's the Indy game. Indy's the last one. And then we play a bunch of West Coast teams. And then we end with 2 home games.
Great. So we'll be watching matches like at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah. That's honestly kind of nice, though. Just watch soccer and get to sleep there.
Well, hopefully it's that boring because we're waiting so much to snooze to the second half. I think that's all I have, gentlemen. Unless you have anything else.
Nope, that's all I got.
Adjourn. I think second.
Can you feel the thunder? Be the feet of Tom. Come to put you
All those
under.
in favor say R. Okay, guys. I'll catch you all later.